Are you ready? I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dude. It's so bad, I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that I'm scared of it.
It would be awesome to, be being a great war. Maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go! Wait, pop!
I have to put the joke.
No, hey. Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it. Good timing, man.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Así mismo, mis amigos, otro domingo más. With all these three amigos, they get together to break it down like it is, like it should be, como siempre, la only boxing EnVivo podcast. Manny, siempre en vivo, Marrero.
Show no gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Yeah.
Break it down like it is,
EnVivo.
like it should be, like
Whatever
it
they
needs
said.
to be. Another great, exciting weekend, man, and I can't wait. Excited to be back. Thanks a lot to all those fans. Fanaticada boxística, puertorriqueña, Latinoamérica, de todo que nos escuchan. Yeah, for all support, man. It's been great. I want to shout out quickly G Funky. Thanks so much, man. That show was fantastic, man. It's great to be collaborating with you guys. And dude, man, boxing's gonna get better and better and better in the next couple of months. And Hoppy, you talked about that, throughout the chat. So, woo! We got a lot.
Buenos dias, mi gente.
dias.
What's up? Let's get it. It's time to go. We got Random Manny on the line.
Random Manny. What's he gonna talk about? Even we don't know.
Diggity down. And a prostitute. Let's get it. It's going down. No, but we respect the ladies. We have a lot of supporters that are female, and we love the ladies. All right, so. Really? But here we go. Remy in the house. HLD, G Funky Boxing, JC, no doubt. Let's get it, my brother. Let's get to it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. I don't want to bury the lead, even though that's kind of my claim to fame, what I like to do sometimes. While we have on the line, we want to get his thoughts. But first, hear from my brother Hopper. What'd you think of Teófimo last night?
Teófimo López, he took some punishment, man. It was a battle. It wasn't easy for him. He's moving up in weight. He was a smaller guy. You could tell it was apparent. But once he got in his groove, like towards the before he finished the fight, you could see he's all confident with his footwork and everything. But I think it wasn't as easy as he thought it was going to be. Moving up there to the higher weight division, he took some punches, and the pressure that Pedro Campa was applying early on, I think wasn't giving him too much trouble, too much fits, but he was eating some shots that he normally, that he normally avoids. But it was a good win overall by Teófimo. He looked good, and the thing I loved the most about it was his speech afterwards. Like when he talked to the ESPN guy, you can tell when someone's been humbled, and just the way he was speaking in that first speech was. You could tell it kind of came from the heart because he even cried. Like if you go back and look at it, he kind of wipes his eyes off after he was done talking. So he was definitely humbled by the Cambosos loss. He got his butt humbled and went to the lab, busted his boat training. But they say he only sparred for 2 weeks, which we'll talk about that some more. But he looked good, man. I'll give him his props, man. Teófimo looked good. He bounced back, and he's on that takeover trail.
Yeah, the takeover, the re-over, like my order, something like that. I'm not sure. Let's get a quick comment here. First of all, shout out to Nancy in the house. Women crushing it Wednesday, baby. HLD, take some punishment, or is it boxing? Yeah, it is boxing, but he did take some punishment early. He made the adjustments. Hey, Manny, Xander, Zayas, baby. Random Manny, off no sleep. What's up, brother? What do you think?
Yeah, shout out to my extended family, man. We had some time here in Durant, Oklahoma. Talked to, it was fun, lots of fun. Hey, listen, couldn't see the fight, but here's the deal, guys. Teófimo need to go through that process to go through humbling himself and making sure that although he has some skills and very talented, and he has proven that, now we're seeing a different Teófimo at 140, and we're expecting to see him like that. But he's got to start gaining some of those fans that feel like he's too cocky. He needs to, shut down. Yeah, you got your talent. You're working hard, but it was too much of a distraction when it comes to the media part of it. And so I think he gained some fans yesterday. Hopper, I think you hit it on the nail. I mean, it was a very difficult fight, although he did dominate it based on what I did see some of the highlights. We were expecting a 5-round knockout, right? So when I did see that it went further than that, I was like, wow, even though for knockout. But I was like, Campa's, a veteran, and he was placed in that position for a reason, to be able to open the doors for Teófimo López and welcome him to the junior welterweight. Second thing, he looked in shape. I mean, weighting in, under 138, and now we can see that he had issues making weight in 135. He looked very healthy, and this is a great step for him, and we were all waiting for it, right? And we talked about the G-Funky podcast the other day that the 140 is just breaking apart. It's wide open right now. So Teófimo has an opportunity to immediately, right? Possibly, who knows? You see what I'm saying? Because he's at that caliber. So I'm excited to see what happens. I want him to humble himself a little bit more and continue to gain some of those more fans that are like on the fence because he's too cocky. If that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. I hear what you're saying, brother. I'll pick it up what you're putting down. No doubt about it.
No disrespecting the Fimo and not disrespecting the Teófimo fans and thinking people that I'm just trying to go harsh on him because I'm a Loma fan. No, that's not the point.
No.
The reality.
No, hear you, brother. So G-Funky says Teófimo won every second of the fight, then KO'd the guy. Absolutely. Laughing emoji. So, there's no question about that, but it's you can't say that Campa didn't have his moments, but we can't just go by what we think we saw. We have to take a closer look and see what happened by taking a closer look
at the numbers.
And of course, do I have them loaded this week? Oh my God.
I cannot believe my eyes. Come on, gringo.
Okay, here we go. Teófimo López. So the total punches, looking at the total punches, was Teófimo López 321 compared to Campa. So Campa he threw crazy amount of punches, 448. He landed 83. Teófimo landed 136. Now, I know the thing and the number that my brother Hopper likes looking at. Look at the power percentage. 52% of the power punches landed for Teófimo. 86. That's more than the punches landed in total for Campa at the 448 that he threw. And for Campa, he landed, not too bad, 26%. But he threw a lot of power. He threw 244. Now, you look at the breakdown of the per round, pretty much literally every round is doubled up by Teófimo López. And I felt like after the third round, you really saw more of a separation. There was some ring rust early on within the fight. What jumps out at you as far as the numbers?
Well, I always say, man, if you're hovering around 50% of your power shots, you're dominating the fight. And look at Teófimo López with 52% of his power shots. That seventh round, he just put it on him. The sixth and seventh round is when we pretty much really started to take over. And like I said, man, you're hovering around 50% of your power shots. You're more than likely gonna win, and you're gonna win by KO. So good work by Teófimo López.
Yeah, you really started, showing out towards the end of the fight too, and really using
that footwork.
That footwork was unbelievable, and I think that's where you can really see the separation, the hand speed, the footwork, and also shout out to Manny Robles. You can definitely see that Pedro Campa had he actually looked a lot better than some of the previous highlights I actually saw of him as far as his not his head movement. There still really wasn't much, but as far as his offense, putting the combination together, he was fighting pretty good overall as far as middle distance, and he was landing some pretty good shots overall, and I thought he had a pretty good game plan. So shout out to them for that respectable fight, and I'm good with that. Let's take a look at these comments, shall we? HLD still Tio and hasn't changed his personality or been humbled by our standards. That's fair to say. Remy, both guys landed power jabs. Definitely.
Yep.
Puerto Rican Rum, salute, gentlemen. Salute to you, brother. Much love for sure. And G-Funky boxing in the building. Bam, Ryan, Virgil, and Teófimo all dominated their last fights. They definitely did, and I'm here for it. And Puerto Rican Rum, shout out to G-Funky as he should. So I gotta ask the gentleman while we have our brother from another mother on right now. EnVivo, Manny Marrero on the line. What do you guys think is next for Teófimo, realistically? Because we could go the what if game and what if should have. I think overall I like the way he looked at 140. I think that the added weight. I know that it seemed like not seemed like because they were saying it. Tim Bradley and Andre Ward were talking about how his power would not translate. I think his power definitely did translate.
Yep.
I thought that he looked more explosive, honestly, and and that's the danger for anybody. And they haven't looked at the time, man. Realistically, he's got 5'5". So I think that's the perfect weight. All right. Hey, man, you just
Sorry, I'm breaking up my signal.
the background's pretty loud. The drive.
Yeah, you got your window down.
Yeah,
You got your window down.
Going through a path on my signal. What was that again? I can hear you now.
I was saying it got really loud, the background. It's all good. So, Hopper, what's next? What do you think's next for?
Well, I mean, I think they were kind of trying to shove it down our face. I mean, they kept mentioning Arnold Barboza. They kept picturing him. Every time, in between rounds, they would show him. It took me a while to recognize him at first. I'm like, who's that dude? Why do they keep showing him? And then, I'm like, oh, shit, that's Barboza. I didn't recognize him without getting punched in the face. So I think that's what ESPN and Top Rank are kind of leaning towards. I wouldn't be surprised to see Teófimo versus Barboza fight be announced next. I mean, because you got Regis and Cepeda going at it on one end, and then you got Taylor who's looking to be busy against rematching Catterall. So you got them busy on that side of the pond, and then the WBA. It's more than likely going to be Puello versus or have they announced the fight for the vacant title yet at 140 over there at the WBA? I don't think they have, right? But you look at the number 1 and number 2 ranked fighters is Alberto Puello and Batir Akhmedov. So I mean, that's probably going to be what they order over there. But you never know with the WBA. They're very easily influenced by Al Heyman, so they might just have one of their PBC guys jump the ladder over there, Gary Antoine Russell, and end up fighting for the WBA. But I think it's going to be Teófimo against Arnold Barboza, while that whole Regis versus Cepeda, and then because Jose Ramirez has the winner of that fight. So I think he's going to have to wait for his shot at the belt. So realistically, I think it's going to be Barboza.
Okay, hey, that's fair, and I didn't recognize his ass either. So
I didn't recognize it, bro. I'm like, I was trying to think. I was like, well, they're in. Like, who is this guy?
You know what's weird is I actually recognized the father first. Like, they showed the father, and I was because he looked the same. So they were showing him, and you could read he was saying like, "Hey, you gotta wait your turn." I'm like, man, they're not gonna wait for Tio. They're definitely not gonna wait for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you got to wait in line. I mean, it's kind of the game. They were kind of talking about it as well, for sure. So
I saw that he was sitting next to Oscar De La Hoya, and in between them both was a señorita.
Hey, yo, nothing wrong with that. Puerto Rican Rum. I think Tio beats Ramirez. Not sure about Prograis, Taylor, and Cepeda, though. That's a fair assessment, man. The problem is, are we going to see it? God, I hope so. G-Funky, what's great about 140 is a lot of these fights.
Top rank has control of these.
Yeah, I mean, it's the top-ranked division. I mean, 154 is a PBC division.
And I'm positive, Regis, the way Uncle Bob works is that if Regis wants these fights, he's going to put into the language that, he has control over a few of his next fights. So if he wants to fight Cepeda and Ramirez, and, Taylor, Teo. So it's pretty. What I'm trying to say is that it's pretty much controlled by Top Rank and Uncle Bob.
No, and and a lot of times that could be annoying, but in this situation, it works out to our benefit.
No, I think at this situation, because these guys genuinely want to fight each other. Right. Cepeda and Prograis. I mean, come on, Cepeda's like the only guy who's fucking stepping up to Prograis. And then Ramirez is there as soon as that fight is done. And we got some exciting fights coming up at 100.
Yeah, but it'll be. You're right, Campa. Took the words out of my mouth because you're absolutely right. I think Tio gonna wait for a while. It makes sense that Barboza, they're still showcasing it, right? And that's what Top Rank does best, and start leading us to what could happen next.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. The winner of that definitely has to wait until Ramirez, fights the winner of Chan and Ray. So there's nothing else on the other end other than, of course, Josh Taylor and Catterall. So yeah, I mean he's got a great opportunity 140. It's gonna take a little bit, but decided 140.
Well, he already said he's.
The minute we knew it was going to come up to 140, we knew that there was an additional great boxer that's going to, make an impact and continue to boost the division that is, dominated by Top Ranks. And Top Ranks know how to move the dices. They play the chess game well.
Yeah, so definitely.
Criticize them, hate her, debate them.
Yep.
He knows what he's doing.
No, you're breaking up a little bit, but I hear what you're saying, brother, for sure. Oh yeah, another thing that I see, like they're already promoting, and it looks like the next 2 fights.
The Heisman date, that's when they're promoting his next fight. He kind of, Teófimo López kind of spilled the beans. He's saying that he's going to be fighting on the Heisman night when they announce the Heisman winner.
It's already, it's already in Boxing Rec, like so they already have it, like they have, which I'm not sure. I mean, usually if it's in Boxing Rec, it's a lot, but it has Madison Square Garden, December 10th, TBA.
December 10th, 2022, I think is when the Heisman is announced this year, the winner. So December 10th. So he's already got that date circled in. Yeah.
So now who it will actually be, I don't know. Like, so
I'll put good money on Barboza
to win. No, I know what you.
Hey, hold on, Ringo.
Wow, all day early enough. You're gonna say that?
No. I'm not picking Barboza to win that fight.
I would not do that to him. I would not do that to this Hopper, Allergy Hopper, Parking Lot Hopper, none of them. All right, so let's get it. I think Teof beats Russell. Rants says can hurt him. TOKO him. That's fair. Teófimo this is by Remy. Thank you, Remy. Teófimo was definitely humbled and remorseful and did a decent video.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and see, and that's the thing, Gringo. I don't know who it was earlier that kind of said that Teófimo wasn't humbled. I don't know. I kind of respectfully disagreed. I think he you can tell. Well, I guess I should say I could tell people's body language and the way they talk and the way sometimes they carry themselves. You could tell when someone's a douche, real cocky, and or fake humble, or just playing it for the cameras. The way he spoke yesterday on the mic after the fight, and he was being real. It was coming from the heart. He got his ass humbled, lost the combosals, because he even teared up. He had some teardrops coming out of his eyes. You could see him. He grabbed him like this, and he definitely had his ass humbled. Definitely he's not cocky because he fucking lost. So
yeah, it was definitely weird. And then he had like a parade with a boombox. It was like the
80s. and then right when I say that he was humbled, he proceeds to show a little bravado afterwards. Yo, who was he starts fucking getting out of the house. So I think he was just having fun with it, man.
He was just having fun, and people
empezó a hablar español, la gente hondureñas, and then he goes, y también México, viva México, way.
Oh yeah.
Me and my wife started laughing. We're like, mira este cabrón.
That was actually kind of cool, though. All right, we got a few more comments, man. All right, so HLD, it was good measuring stick, and he passed the flying colors and expected. The next fight will be approved to stock at 140. Taylor Ramirez, Barboza is not likely due to next fight as a pay-per-view. That's a good point. Like, so the next 2 fights, and HLD called it out. Thank you very much. The next 2 fights are pay-per-view. So even though Barboza does seem like that's the guy. I mean, they had him sitting in front row, and most people didn't recognize him. But it does seem like they're kind of setting it up at the same time by it being a pay-per-view. They're going to really have to push the hell out of that to.
Yeah, they're going to need a badass card if they're thinking. Oh, they're talking about Ryan and Teófimo, right?
Yeah, definitely. Decent house. Yeah. I'm at work, sharing, listening later. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the support, man. Puerto Rican Rum. I don't think it will be a pay-per-view because Taylor and Ryan is a pay-per-view selling opponent December. I know that the contract is supposed to be pay-per-view, but that's not realistic. I
think Ryan and Teófimo is definitely pay-per-view worthy on its own. What do you guys think? You think that's a pay-per-view worthy fight? Ryan Garcia versus Teófimo López?
100%.
Yeah, that's a pay-per-view fight in my opinion. I guess I'd pay for that.
100%. 100%. HLD.
100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. El Camotón
Tano,
del
Prophet in the
show.
house, El Chile, JC, Tio,
Tio
and
and his
dad.
clowns.
Clown emoji. I understand that, but there is no pay-per-view quality opponent available for December. Bob isn't going to lose his ass putting Barboza on a pay-per-view header. That's what I'm saying. Unless they come out with a Barboza movie, I don't see how they can really kind of push that guy to a level and then have him ready for December 8th.
Or they're going to need a hell of an undercard if they're going to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm talking
like,
yeah,
like Ryan Tank undercard. You know what I'm saying? HLD. That's why it will be Taylor or Ramirez. You know, hey, you know what I'm saying? I hope so. I hope so. And definitely, that's the thing about it. You know, onward.
Man, I would love to see Teófimo López in the meantime fight Jose Ramirez. But does Jose Ramirez? I mean, why would you do that if you're him when you already got a guaranteed title shot at Regis and Cepeda? Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. But you know, we can't let our brother go without getting into this. It is Xander Zayas week, baby.
Our boy Xander. Our boy Xander.
Man.
Vamos. Eso sí.
All right. Did you see the fight, Manny?
I sure did.
All right. Thoughts?
Man, I love it. It's just starting to get us more excited that anytime this kid's gonna fight. Yeah, I'm hearing some comments already, but it's a learning progress for him. And right now, we saw the power, his movements. Man, the way he throws the jab and the speed he follows through quickly with that left hook, just like remind me of Tito Trinidad. You know what I mean? It's just great to see the skill level and how hard he trains to be at that position. We talked about how well-spoken he is, humble, great family, great background, but he's taking all that pressure and he's handling well. And so I think sometimes I'm feeling like even though he's got a lot in his shoulder, because everyone's starting to realize he could be that potential super champion. And I think he sometimes wants to perform and do more. And that's where I believe he needs to tone down a little bit, trust his training, trust his coaches, you know, everything they give him. And it was really good performance yesterday. Got popped a couple of times. I mean, you know, you're going in against an experienced fighter that this is why Top Rank continues to do an amazing job matching up, you know, their talented pool of youngsters such as, you know, Xander Zayas. And Papi, we love you, Papi. Estamos orgullosos de ti. Gracias por representar a toda Latinoamericana, a Puerto Rico, ponerlo siempre en alto. Y siempre te decimos, continúa dándole hacia adelante. Mucho por qué hacer, pero wow, it was a very good performance by Xander, and loved that you know it ended up the way it ended up with the knockout. You know, stopping the fight. I think he was taking a lot of punches. There wasn't anything in there, so cautious on something. I don't want him to gas out immediately. It feels like he's done that. I think he wants to overperform in the first few rounds because of that weight in his shoulder. I'm not saying he's gassing out, but I think, you know, it's getting a little sloppy at times. And I know it's dependent on the opponent and their defense. But other than that, man, I mean, these are good times. Received a lot of texts yesterday. Just got them today because I didn't have much signal over there to talk up. But, man, enjoyed it.
Awesome,
we got
brother.
A special one. You guys know it. We got a special kid.
No, definitely. So, yeah, obviously it wasn't perfect. It is boxing, but, you know, that's the thing. You see the groups, you see the improvement. Actually, I got a message from Javier Centeno, sending him a lot of love. I see the continued maturation and the improvement offensively. Xander looks awesome, man. But, you know, it doesn't matter what I think. Hopper, what do you think, brother? Because you haven't always been.
Well, you know, that's Xander Zayas is my favorite Puerto Rican prospect. He is my favorite Puerto Rican prospect. I will slap you with it. Hey, I mean, hey, he beat up a Mexicano, which, you know, kind of hurt, but hey, it's cool. As long as it's Xander. If it's Xander Zayas beating up Mexicanos, then I'm all for it, man. Way to go, Xander. And I love the emotion afterward when he jumped on top of the ring and he said, I'm the best fucking prospect. I'm the best prospect. So, I don't think ESPN is going to be too happy about Xander and Teófimo dropping F-bombs live on TV.
No, definitely.
Teófimo did it at the interview too, and he said, fucking, and I was like, yeah, they're going to get fined by the FCC for that. But luckily we won, so F them putos.
Yeah,
Xander did great, man. Xander's our boy.
He tries to play the mean guy, and I love the face-off they did at the weigh-in. It was seeing him at a different level of maturity. And before he was trying to put that mean, want to destroy kind of face, within the whole media conference. And this time it worked well for him. You see what I'm saying? He was in the zone. Afterwards, this is where a super champion, it gets the attention from a lot of fans, right? And they become a fan of him. The way he goes out to every single individuals and thanks them, whether it's the referee, whether it's the opponent's trainer, coach, cut man, anyone in the ring, he goes out there and thanks them for the job they did at that particular within his fights. And I don't know if he does it to the judge or not, but I'm assuming around because that's his personality. That's where, man, it's we've been talking about it, and this is those people who are always telling me, Manny, what do you think about Berlanga or Zayas?
You got your looking at the wrong way, buddy.
The personality that the people want, the charisma, it's all full package.
Xander.
Yeah, and that's actually a great point before we start looking at the numbers. In a guy that I'm usually pretty critical on as far as like I feel
hater
he's forcing on in regards to Joe Tessitore calling the fight. It felt like, honestly, and maybe no one else felt that way. It was kind of a passing of the torch. Like ESPN, well, maybe not Top Rank, but ESPN was acknowledging like, hey,
we're done with Berlanga.
Yeah, they were like, well, he mentioned his obsession with the streak. He said the 16-0 knockout streak, the first round knockout streak. But he said the Puerto Rican, the Puerto Rican fan base, this seems like Xander is the guy.
It's their guy.
Yeah, and if I can actually find a quote, because I kind of generalized doing that. But yeah, that shocked me that he would say that. Because to me, he's part of the reason him and Tim Bradley started the whole Berlanga hype train. So for him to get off of it with Xander, and I do feel that way. Let me get to these comments real quick before we do look at the numbers, because we got some great comments here. Thank you, Remy. Good performance.
Xander earned the right to what?
So this is a big one right here, and this is kind of not a showstopper, but good call out right here. Puerto Rican Rum. Has Xander earned the right to headline MSG in June? They did mention that during the telecast, and it did, after he dropped the F-bomb on the end of the corner. And I think he has, honestly. Who else? Why not?
I think they're still gonna need to build a good card around him. But there are a lot of top rank and very interesting fights out there to see that I believe so. Nothing big, huge, major, but sadly enough, because it's always going to be Berlanga on that, but because there's a huge space in where Berlanga has been suspended, so I think Xander can actually emerge as probably.
Yeah, his suspension will be over by that time. So point blank, I know you've got no sleep, and then we'll hear you Hopper real quick on that. Yeah. Point blank, water gun to your head or a pillow, because I know you need some sleep. Who deserves that date? Do you give to Xander, Berlanga, or somebody else, or Amanda Serrano? Who would give that date? Who needs a headline MSG?
Honestly, I love my boy Xander, and he's growing and he's creating a good fan base. But I would love to see Amanda Serrano headline that with co-main event Xander Zayas. Hey, listen, first regional title for Xander. There's a lot of stuff coming up. He's going to start moving up in ranks. And 154, it's hot and steamy up there, right? It'll be a while until he gets that attention. But, man, Amanda Serrano headlining with co-main event Xander Zayas, kaboom. That will be my perfect scenario.
And Berlanga working the corner.
Oh, my God, that will be dream come true.
Well, yeah, Katie Taylor's retired. All right, so Hopper, what do you think? Who would you have?
And here's the thing: is if he's gonna headline an MSG in June, it has to be somebody. It has to be a step up upon it. It has to be somebody where you're like, damn. And who can he fight up there? Because the 154-pound division is pretty much controlled by the PBC. If you look at the champions and all the ranked fighters, you got Jermel Charlo, who pretty much has all the belts there, and then Fundora and Castano, Harrison, Lubin. Those are all. That's 4 of your top 5, 6 of your top 5 guys right there, and then Tim Zhu, who also is affiliated with them. So your top 6 fighters, including the champion, pretty much controlled by the PBC. So it's gonna be kind of hard for him to get an opponent. But the only feasible opponent that I can see him fighting is ranked number 6 by the IBF, and he's still out there. Austin Trout. I think that's a fight that's a doable fight for him to make, just to see what he can do against somebody that's, next level opponent that's been there, done that with some of the names in boxing. Trout's fought Canelo. He's fought a who's who of opponents, and I think if he's going to headline MSG, it has to be that kind of a fight, to where you draw your eyes. You're like, oh wow, he's fighting this guy. Even if Austin Trout's kind of towards the end of his career, it's still a name that Xander Zayas can build off of. And I see that as a doable fight.
That's a good keeper one. That's a good keeper for Trout, and a good one for the youngster to see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A good.
Yeah,
that's actually. I just think that he's going to stick with the WBO. So I'm not sure with the WBO who's
the WBO.
All right,
but the point is that I think we've trusted the way as fans, the way that Top Rank's been matching it up, and it's been fabulous.
No, they've been doing a pretty good job. But let's take a closer look at.
I cannot believe my eyes.
Man. All right, so taking a closer look at the CompuBox. So our man Xander, and he was averaging 60 punches per round. That's phenomenal. Of course, not the last round where he did get the stoppage. People calling it like a premature stoppage, but I didn't see no pushback from Elias Zapata. He was ready to stop. So overall, the total punches was 240, 86 landed for Xander, 36% body punches, jabs 25%. He didn't want to see the jab picked up, but quite closer to that 50% mark that you talk about. 64 out of 151 power
40,
punches
50,
landed.
60.
42%. That's the danger zone, brother.
That's you're kicking ass zone right there. 40-50% power.
Hopper. Did you see that left hand out coming out pretty strong? It was a matter of time.
Oh, that's a matter of time, man. I saw that right though. That right hook that dropped Elias.
I like that he wasn't concerned.
That was fast.
And then
blink and your
plan and continue to, he stopped throwing to the body because he was already warned a couple of times, but he stuck to it. And eventually that right hand, man, he's got some power.
Right hand. We snuck it in there really fast too.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at that clip right now. We'll probably get pulled down by.
Don't get us sued by Uncle Bob now.
It's all worth it. I'm not going to argue with you. I had no idea. I always thought that we were known as a Canelo channel, but check this out from our own. The love from the Women Crushing It Wednesday, and actually the sponsor for our show, Photographer de la Gente, Esme, was telling us that our channel was based off.
Long Live Boxing says chocolatito all day. Okay, we're going to get the receipts on this. Okay,
they only root for Chocolatito and Xander Zayas, so.
Yeah, okay. I mean, and I love Xander, but okay, I see.
Man,
ooh, they got put on blast, huh? They only root for Xander.
That's crazy. I had no idea. But hey, it's all good. So we got some great comments here we want to get to.
It's all good,
HLD, Xander Zayas becoming such a complete, well-rounded, mature beyond his years fighting. This kid is only 19, much time to grow, and going to be critical over time. And time will come. Absolutely. Remy, who should Xander fight next? It kind of all depends.
Honestly, I like the way that Top Rank is moving them along, man. I think, and as le digo a mis amigos puertorriqueños, mama Puerto Rican brothers out there, patience, beast. Don't put, this is what happens with some of these guys, man. I think the Puerto Rican community, and this is me from the outside looking in, so if you want to shoot me on blast, that's cool. I think sometimes you guys get a little too hyped up with these guys, and let them evolve in their own time. I like the way Top Rank is moving them along just right. Calmao, papa, calmao. Tómele paciencia. Este chavo es especial. He's gonna do it.
Ustedes le dicen calmao, papa, calmao. Nosotros le decimos cógelo suave. Cógelo suave, take it easy. Cógelo suave, take it easy, porque we can't expect them to be that.
Not overnight. It's not going to happen overnight.
And outside looking in, given that gringo perspective, that's another beauty and positive of Berlanga, because he's getting so much of the filtering of the, let's say, hate, that it allows Xander to kind of go under the radar and do his thing. So I'm good with it, you know. And then, hey, at the same time, you know, Berlanga could turn things around and, you know, surprise us all.
It was. I think because of Berlanga's last 2 fights, I mean, Manny, I could be wrong, but I think the focus of the Puerto Rican community has shifted to Xander. They're very quiet about it. They don't want to do the same mistake that they did with Berlanga, you know. But I think it's more of
a lot of people are seeing
a calm.
A lot of people. I'm not saying they're jumping on board, because I hate to be just people but a lot of people didn't get an opportunity to see him. Now he's shining. Now he's going main, and
now he's
headlining in Puerto Rico. He'll probably headline in Puerto Rico again. Yeah. I mean, that's Top Rank wants to continue to build boxing in Puerto Rico, and it's getting where it's to be.
All right, you're breaking up, brother. All right, so let's go ahead and get to these comments real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get on to, because Hopper has something he wants to get off his chest. Say it with your chest, brother. G Funky Boxing. I don't think he's ready for a headline fight yet. He's only 19 and still learning. He will be 20 in September, you know, but still, I see what you're saying.
Puerto Rico, he will in Puerto Rico.
I like that. I like those comments.
All right, so HLD says, no need to rush Xander for headlining anything yet. No need to put the pressure on him. Only 19 and still developing. Top Rank won't make the same Berlanga mistake with him. You know, hopefully not. And that's interesting that they said that, because, again, these things that I'm throwing out there as far as, you know, headlining, those are things that he wants. But it is good to have kind of temper enthusiasm for fans, also him, and also for the audience on where they're kind of taking them. But I do agree with my brother Hopper, and, you know, from those that are in the chat, we appreciate you guys, that I think that they're tempering their enthusiasm and expectations for him, and they're at a good pace. Now, there's other guys that are talented, not as talented to me, but also that can kind of levy the playing field too, as far as, like, you know, it's not just on him, which I think is a benefit. They said the name, they will not be said.
No, it's all on him.
No, it's not all on him. It's not. That's the thing, though. I don't think it is, because there's other guys. Like, when they've had guys before to come up, it was kind of like pretty much that one person. But even last night, you know, Omar Rosario was on the card. They had another guy, a Puerto Rican prospect. So Top Rank has gotten so many that they've acquired, Puerto Rican fighters, that, you know, they're slowly kind of building a base. And, you know, obviously our man Capu Gonzalez and several other guys that they're using to kind of also levy that playing field, so to speak. So exactly, G Funky, not even going to hype him beyond, you know, what
he is, number one prospect.
Yep, there you go. Remy, yeah, he's still learning, but there's a difference between Xander and Berlanga right now, asking for a friend. I would say
it's the approach that you have. One has that calm humbleness, you know, he's you know, quiet confidence, and the other one's just loud, brash, kind of obnoxious, super cocky. I think that's and the skill level. Let's just go ahead and say it. Pound for pound, Xander is quite a few levels above Berlanga, in my opinion, at this point in his career too.
Yeah, definitely. HLD said, dude, stop it all. Cultures have hype machines, group their own, not only Blake, but I mean, absolutely. I think so as well. We're saying it's a great situation where, you know, we have a rooting for and wanting a fighter to, you know, step up. All right, so we got my man, Run PMC in the house. Run PMC. Man, salute, brother. Salute, everyone. Well said. Yeah, he's still a prospect. Absolutely. Still a prospect. He is. Like you said, he's the best fucking prospect in boxing. So,
hey, Gringo, I'm a hop out. Man, I just want to shout out to the chat Sunday after Sunday. Look forward to our recap, and thank you for always interacting with us. And we're so excited about boxing, so excited about prospects, so excited about 140s, 147s, everything, man. Boxing is great. So my amigos here, love you guys. And one last thought. There was a song out there that it was sensational. It was on for like 2-3 years in a row, top. And you will still hear it out there. This is pertaining to Xander Zayas' career. Despacito. Así que los queremos mucho, mi gente. De camino hacia Dallas, going into Dallas. Manny Marrero, mi amigo Mike. Hola. Hey. We'll
Tómate
say
una
goodbye.
michelada.
We'll see you.
Una miche.
Ahí estamos. Vivo.
Brother.
Later, carnal.
It's time.
Want peace. I want problems always.
Okay, so it goes without saying that our brother Hopper has some things he wants to get off his chest because there were some things that were announced during the week that surprised me. Is that fair to say? It was surprising. It was surprising and it was unexpected. I don't know. Would you say it's unexpected? How would you classify it?
I don't think, man, you know, the way boxing is nowadays, man, fucking nothing's unexpected. You know, it's the only thing that surprises me is when something doesn't surprise. But look, all right, I want all the smoke, Gringo. I want all the smoke, and I hate to do this to our brothers in the UK, but I want to ask all.
You breaking up? Hopper? Oh, man. Oh, it looks like he froze up on us. See if he comes back. Let me see. Yeah, the UK just stopped the show. Oh man. All right. So right when he gets started, you know, that actually is every single time too. I'm wondering if that meme that I drop, that little GIF, it actually gets it looks like he's coming back. All right, here we go. Don't mention the UK next time. Here we go. All right.
Wow, right? They hacked me, bro. It's anonymous. Somebody hacked me, man. They didn't want me talking trash about the UK. But seriously, man, where was I? As I was saying, our brothers over there in the UK, are you guys really asking for this fight? Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr.? If you guys are asking for this fight, then hey, who are we, the Yanks, the Mexican Americans over here on this side of the pond, to tell you guys what to watch? But when that fight was announced, first thing that came to my mind, the stupid ass fight. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. I mean, and the reason I don't like this fight is because you're taking two warriors and you're not going to put them at their best. Chris Eubank Jr. is going to come in dehydrated. He hasn't been that low since 2014. I mean, that was 7 years ago. He recently just campaigned as a super middleweight, 168 pounds. Now you're asking him to go all the way down to what it was now. They changed it. I know it was 156. Now I think it's 157. And you're asking Conor Benn to go up from 147 to 157. I mean, it's dumb. I get the history with the fathers and everything, but I think it's a fight that could have been there whenever they wanted to fight. Just like Amir Khan and Kell Brook. That fight was there whenever they, towards the end of their career, and people still watched. This Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. fight, it's I mean, if you guys are asking for it over there across the pond, hey, off for it, have at it. I'm sure it's gonna sell because of the history. But over here, it didn't do nothing for us in terms of, we're going to watch this fight. If it was pay-per-view over here, I wouldn't pay for that shit. I would just wait for, Team Stream or find some kind of watch it afterwards or something. I wouldn't pay for that. But it's strictly a money fight. It's strictly like our boy says, it's a money fight. It's a circus fight. It's I mean, I get it. I don't want to say I don't get it, but it's cash. But man, Conor Benn, I love the path that they were taking him on. He's one of my favorite prospects. Him, Virgil, Boots, they're all kind of like in the same trajectory, going towards each other eventually. And now to do this, you don't know what kind of damage this does, because think about it, Gringo. I know he's going to be dehydrated, but if Chris Eubank does train his ass off and is comfortable somewhere around there, Chris Eubank Jr., for whatever the criticism that he receives, he's got some power, man. He's damaged people. Look up Nick Blackwell. What happened to him? Both Eubanks, they hurt some boxers, man. And Chris Eubank Jr. is no different. I think you're asking Conor Benn a lot. It's a huge risk to go up there. Because think about it. He's at 147. He got his ass dropped at 147 by a 147 pounder. Imagine when he goes up to 100 that division and fight Chris Eubank Jr. A lot of people say, well, Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't have power. Yes, in that division, when he's fighting somebody smaller than him, moving on up, Oh man, I think Conor Benn. This has Kell Brook Triple G kind of written all over it if he's not careful, man. And Cedric Paynot is the guy that put Conor Benn on his ass, a 147 pounder. Come on, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I was a little speechless that British fans want this fight.
Well, I mean, they want a lot of fights. I mean, talk about a fight that happened this year, and to mention that guy, we'll talk about a little bit later. Tyson Fury. They wanted Tyson Fury. They wanted that fight versus Dylan White, which, man, I did not know why they wanted that fight so badly. But this fight, there's a lot of hype. It's already sold out. Obviously, I know. I'm a big reminiscent fan of the '90s as well. So I know their fathers, but their fathers were champions. They were title holders.
They were both champions.
They're true rivals. This
in the natural weight class,
right? I mean, all of it just kind of aligned. They were from the same place. I mean, that whole thing. So I get that, and I get the nostalgia and people wanting something. But just me personally, and I see some of the comments here, and we'll touch to those as well. Anytime you take somebody out their weight division, I don't like weight jumping, and I definitely don't like catch weights at all. So that always puts a bad taste in my mouth. And then, as far as what are we trying to accomplish here? Now, I get there's some frustration because at 147 it's kind of top heavy, but at the same time, are you going to actually get those fights made? Ironically, in a weird move too, Conor Benn said, yeah, after I take care of, Eubanks, I want, Ennis Jr., and he called him out, which, okay. Then again, kind of a strange move. Who knows where you're going to be after this fight anyway? So it's just kind of perplexed because, to your point, I was just commenting ironically recently how I like the way they were moving him. And then for this move, it's just boxing doing boxing things. Real quick, get to these comments that are appreciated. HLD boxing, Ben walks around 180, 190. What's wrong with 157? Nothing.
Nothing, but that's just not the fight. It's not the weight that he competes at. I mean, he's fighting at 147 against 147 pounders, and they have these divisions for a reason, especially when you go from 147 to 154. In this case, 157, 13 pounds, without even taking a fight in between to get you acclimated to the weight. Sparring and an actual fight is two different things, man. And then once you move up and when you try to go back down after moving up, it kind of never works out that way. Works out well for the boxers when they try to go back down after they've already, fought at a different higher weight class. So I don't know, man. Conor Benn, if he wins, it's gonna, it automatically catapults him to superstardom, especially over there in the UK.
Right.
In the UK, I should say, not over here necessarily, but over there he becomes their guy. So I guess it's a calculated risk by Conor Benn, but he needs to be careful, man.
No, definitely. Anytime, you deal with different weight classes. And then that's another thing. He's not fighting a tomato can. You can say about Eubanks, but he has obviously respectable losses. His two losses were against
George Groves
and, Billy Joe Saunders, right?
Billy Joe Saunders.
His weird ass. So let's keep it going. Remy, I became excited until I heard the weight kind of. Yeah, I was kind of wasn't sure when I heard.
Ben has fights that good one, G Funky, and like I said, I like the trajectory that Conor Benn was on. He was fighting guys. He recently he fought Chris Algieri. I thought that was a great step up fight for him. He was on a good train path. He was on a good path, and then I think it's just gonna derail by doing this shit, fighting Chris Eubank Jr. Hey, make your money, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. No, absolutely, brother. All right, so HLD appreciated the zone. Got no fighters in the stable. 147. Pro boxing is a business driven.
No, of course not. Nobody's surprised. Boxing does what boxing does.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. That's a fair assessment right there. HLD. You could see this kind of coming. The way it came is it's a name. They're going to get their money there. But who does it benefit? Just right off the top, I know that, in G Funky made the comment that, catchweights usually favor the little guy.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way in this case? That the little guy,
you cut off.
Do you think the little guy is going to benefit? Do you think it benefits Ben in this case?
Who has more to gain in this fight? I think Conor Benn does, because Chris Eubank Jr., you're supposed to win this fight. You're the bigger guy by quite a lot, man. But here's the thing, though. My agitation with this fight is you're taking two warriors out of their comfort element. At their best, they're not going to be at their best come fight night. Whatever whatever anybody says, they're just not. This isn't what their division they've been campaigning on. They're going to be, especially Chris Eubank Jr., man, he's going to be severely weight drained. You know, he hasn't been that low since, like I said earlier, 2014. It's a long time ago. It's 7 years ago. So can he even make that weight?
No, that's the thing. We're gonna find out. I know one thing we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out how weak of a person I am as a human being watching boxing, because I always say I'm not gonna watch. I'm not gonna.
And we end up watching.
We're gonna end up watching. We'll probably go.
I'm gonna watch for sure. I mean, it's because like we love them afternoon boxing fights.
Oh man, we definitely do, man, and that's actually a really good segue. Let me get to this comment really quick, Remy. But also sucks no belts happening because of the family names.
Family names.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is, man. It's boxing doing what boxing does, and it's kind of one of those things. News and notes. No, how about let's go to well, yeah, I guess news and notes is also kind of my final thought. So we'll go ahead and say
do that.
In flight. Afternoon delight. Whoop. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon delight.
And you know what, baby? Let's go watch the fight
next week, brother.
I can't believe it. It's so amazing. First of all, afternoon delight. When another man tells another man, "Let's get some afternoon delight,"
it's questionable.
It's questionable.
I seen you and Manny get a lot of afternoon delights.
But man, afternoon delight boxing is the best, with or without alcohol. It's amazing. Like you got your whole day still. You can grill early. It's just phenomenal. It's a great feeling. So, what's your thoughts immediately? Just how do you feel going into this week? We're already coming off of Xander week, which is amazing.
I love it. We've got a packed Saturday, August 20th. We got that fight, and then we also have Navarrete.
Navarrete's coming back
fighting, and then we also have AB.
Yep,
Adrian Broner. So man, what a night, man! And we get started off with the afternoon delight. We need our brother Manny so we can give our predictions and thoughts on that fight. Maybe a preview show coming up. I mean, it's up to you guys.
We'll see
before or after. I don't know. It's up to whatever you guys want to do, man. What do you think, Rico? Who wins that fight?
Oh man, I like and I have liked Usyk, quite a bit. I'm still excited about Usyk. Just kind of going real quick off the top of my head, I like Usyk a lot. I'm excited to see what AB has. I know Figueroa was destroyed when he fought Ugas. But man, I'm excited to see both, honestly. I think that's going to be a fair fight. And then Navarrete, I'm always excited to see.
Yeah, Navarrete's going to win by knockout. That's pretty easy. That's giving money. I think I'm going to go with Figueroa. I think Figueroa is going to beat Broner just by just being the busier fighter. So I think I got Figueroa winning by just a lot more action than AB. AB doesn't really throw his hands. I got Vaquero winning by knockout. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. I got Anthony Joshua winning the fight.
What? Is that the Robert Garcia impact?
By knockout.
Knockout?
Go ahead and call it, baby. F it.
Oh, man. All right. So my man, Run PMC, the hired gun of the YTB network. What network is
DAZN, I believe.
Right? DAZN pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, DAZN.
DAZN pay-per-view. If I'm wrong, I'll definitely put it out there within the description. The guys let you know, because I want to know myself, because I'm going to get me some of that afternoon delight. Remy says, oh, man, I'm the AJ. I'm with AJ, but Usyk by UD. There you go. Now, I got to ask real quick. I guess we'll save it for the show, but what has there been something that kind of changed your perspective of why you feel this way, or are you going to save it for we do a future show?
I'll save it, but I'm going to say I think AJ's in seek and destroy mode. I don't think he's going to F around trying to lose all that weight like he did last time, like an idiot. I think he's going to go straight in there, seek and destroy. He's going to come right at him, use his weight, that's all I'll say.
Okay. No, hey, that's enough for me right there. So that'll work. That'll work. That'll definitely work. And Jeep said, I haven't heard. It's a DAZN pay-per-view. Man, I hope it's not. If it's just a regular DAZN,
I don't know. I hope it's just regular DAZN, because
can a brother get a regular DAZN, please?
No, man.
Shit.
Got no money, man.
That was a little bit of my broadcast rant. So final thoughts, Hopper.
My final thoughts got nothing to do with boxing. There's a show on Netflix that just came out. It's called The Sandman. Check it out. Final thought. Boom.
Man, I have no idea. I'm scared to watch it, but I'm sure it will be memorable when I do. Speaking of memorable, man, we appreciate you guys so much joining us for another hard-hitting episode of boxing. Check out my man. This is a actual footage of Manny sneaking to the club for the first time in Puerto Rico. That guy's a party animal, man. But no, much love, man. We appreciate you guys so much checking us out. It's going to be a hell of a show. And we're going to be back again for some Afternoon Delight, and possibly we'll be doing a show during the week on our channel, or we'll be reaching out to one of our brothers in HCP, or maybe even you. Hey, you might even have a channel, but we might make one and join it. But until then,
flight. Afternoon Delight. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon Delight.
We are.